Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for a Lunch and Learn session as we take this opportunity to learn about all the important resources that are available to you as a member of the Down Syndrome Association. Today, Lunch and Learn features Sandy Irwin, Director of Family Support from the St. Louis ARC. Parents or caregivers of loved ones with Down syndrome can learn about the ARC's mission, programs, and events for individuals of all ages.
I love that you're all here. Thank you. We love being able to partner with other community agencies that, we're all kind of serving the same population, the same families. And so we always love to be able to just kind of touch base with other organizations. St. Louis ARC is celebrating its 75th year this year, which is really exciting. It was started by a group of parents that kind of saw that their children were not really receiving the services that they felt they needed, and so they came together to create those services, and it just grew and grew and grew from that, and it's still going. We have kind of three words that our agency not only we look at from the staff's point of view, but also our caregivers, which I'll explain a little bit. We call caregivers anybody that a participant, the person receiving our services, lives with. So that could be mom, dad, grandparent, an adult sibling, something like that. The guardian, essentially, we call that a caregiver. Anyway, we look at these three kinds of words in all aspects of our agency. So it's respect, collaboration, and empowerment. And again, that comes in between our different departments and programs, and also our relationship with the caregiver, with the participant. We are very much, as I'm sure the Down Syndrome Association is, a person-centered choice practice. We really want for our caregivers and our participants to have their voices heard, have what they want for their best life to be front and foremost in our minds at all times. We heavily use the Charting the Life course tools, which was created through UMKC. And it's an open source kind of different tool package that has these wonderful documents that you can use to kind of help facilitate organizing different things so that your loved one can live their best life. So I highly recommend you checking out those. And if you haven't heard of them, and I can send Linda a bunch of different links and resources and things like that that she can share with everyone afterwards. Our mission, every organization like ours has, a mission statement. And so our mission really is to empower not only the people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, but also their families, again, to lead their best lives, to live a better life. And for us as an agency to provide a lifetime, and I'll talk about that a little bit more, a lifetime of high quality services, family support, and advocacy, which is a big thing right now. Advocacy is probably being talked about in every agency and community partner like ours right now because of just different things happening in the world right now. So, and we can talk a little bit about things that we are things we're connected with. I believe, Linda, the Down Syndrome Association is connected with Starling, and we are as well. We can share a little bit more about what Starling is later. So I mentioned that we provide a lifetime of high quality services. This wonderful graphic that we have, this is on just throughout different publicity that we share and everything, and it's just a really nice graphic of our lifetime of support. We kind of update this every fiscal year or so. And it kind of looks at as participants and families transition through their life. And I'll kind of touch on every little kind of area here. So we'll start with our littles. I know some of the families that are interested in these lunch and learns and register for this have our youngest population, so our children's services. We have a wonderful program called Capable Kids and Families, CKF, as we love to use acronyms in this environment. I'm sure many of you know that. So Capable Kids and Families. It really started out as an equipment lending program of therapeutic toys that are adapted in some way, maybe a switch toy or things like that. Maybe many of you are familiar with those kinds of things, but it has grown into so much more. We have the most amazing, talented staff members that are so knowledgeable of resources for parents, early childhood education, child development, things like that. And so the equipment lending is really what kind of gets us in the door with families. And then they will come and visit once a month with the families and talk to them about what else is going on at home or in life or what other resources they may need. So it's a home visiting program. And it's just a really wonderful, wonderful opportunity to build a really wonderful, trusting relationship with the families. It's for children ages 0 through the end of their 7th year, so 0 to 7, and it's for St. Louis County and St. Louis City. And I will preface this by saying most of our programs are for St. Louis County and St. Louis City residents. There is a little bit of wiggle room with some of them, but that would be determined kind of by program. Um, so we also have a wonderful embedded program in our Normandy area, Normandy kind of footprint, the Normandy footprint, and we're also moving into the city. This is specifically though for early childhood centers and childcare centers. So that is not something that necessarily the general public could kind of just register for. This is something that our amazing Children's Services Department and our Children's Services Director, she works with those childcare centers and early childhood centers within the Normandy footprint, and now we're moving into the city to work with those educators within there to train them to do evaluations of the children that are attending those centers and things like that. So it's again not really a general public open program, but it is something where we are working with the general public of those children that are attending those centers. The Children's Services Department also does a ton of workshops and out in the community, tabling events, things like that. And then we have a very wonderful, unique program in the city called Parents Learning Together, PLT. This is specifically for adults that have IDD, an intellectual or developmental disability, who their parents that may have a child with a disability or may not have a child with a disability, but they themselves have a diagnosed disability. This program is a very tight-knit group. They come together and do lots of different events together. They meet at our Del Mar Divine location, which is down in the Del Mar footprint, and they work on just all different kinds of skills, right? Any kind of it might be accessing services, it might be just building, friendships, social skills, again, looking for resources, lots of different things. And it's really, really grown, and it's a wonderful, tight-knit group. They've built a lot of great relationships. Our Family Supports Department, which I am the Director of Family Supports, we are kind of a unique department. We serve, again, the entire lifespan, so we can support families that have loved ones 0 through end of life. We have a wonderful family navigation department. Our family navigators are not case managers like you would see through Department of Mental Health or CHS, Center for Human Services, or things like that, but they can provide support in a similar way that maybe the case managers are not able to. So if a family needs support in filling out a Medicaid application or accessing SSI benefits, or for a school-age child, if they're kind of having some challenges in the school system. They need some support attending an IEP meeting or understanding special education law, things like that. Our family navigators can really come in and support a family and walk alongside them through those processes. It can be as simple as a one-time meeting to work on a goal and accomplish something, or it can be a little bit longer. Ideally, it is just focused on one goal that we work on, and then we kind of complete that goal, and then maybe we won't work with that family until they have something else that kind of comes up. It a lot of times falls with transitions with parents. So maybe they're transitioning from early childhood to school age, then maybe out of school, right? That big 16, 17, 18 years, right? Where they're getting ready to leave high school and getting ready for college, career, volunteer, whatever it may be. And then again, maybe some future planning, maybe as parents and caregivers get a little older. And again, lots of accessing benefits. I think that's one of the biggest things that we do is supporting families with accessing different benefits and understanding that. We have a very, very large respite program. Our respite program is very unique. So we have a relationship really directly with the caregiver. We do not staff respite providers, but it's a reimbursed program. So it's for St. Louis City and St. Louis County residents where the caregiver can actually choose their respite provider. And they would pay their respite provider to care for their loved one. And then we work with the county and the city's SB 40 boards to reimburse the caregiver for a portion of their cost that they are paying their respite provider. That was a mouthful. There's more details on our website, of course, if you're interested in our respite program. There's a simple application, eligibility questionnaire, and then you'll go through a little intake training and things like that. For our city families specifically that are interested in our respite program, I do want to just let you know that all of our city families do need to be supported by Department of Mental Health, either with service coordination or information coordination. It is a requirement because DMH does provide a portion of the funding for it. And sometimes that can take a little bit of time. So if you are interested in our respite program and you live within the city of St. Louis, we would encourage you to go ahead and work on that application to be connected with DMH and specifically service coordination or information coordination. Um, we also have a education and advocacy department. So things like this would fall under our family education. We have weekly Q&As. We have monthly workshops that we provide online. We have a very, very large YouTube database with tons of educational videos about special needs trusts, future planning, the IEP process, the difference between guardianship and supported decision making. All of that falls within our family education. And then our advocacy department, we have a assistant director of family education and advocacy. Her name is Hannah Satterwhite, and she really leads our advocacy. She is in Jeff City a lot, doing a lot of work there, just talking to different legislators and reps and bringing our self-advocates there to really have them share their story and knock on doors and have meetings and pull people off the floor and lots of exciting things. So we are really, really tuned into not only local advocacy, but also on the state and the federal level. We are constantly having different meetings with, again, our local reps as often as we can. Many of our representatives of the state do have local offices, and so we will try to talk to at least maybe their legislative assistants, their LAs as we call them, and just share our stories, share our family stories, and talk about, that how Medicaid cuts will affect our families or other things like that, right? We do have a a small counseling department, and again, it's at no cost to the families. And again, all of that can kind of be you can see all of that through our website. I will, as I'm kind of sharing some of these programs that we have, I will stop and share, and again, I'll share this with Linda. We have a very simple intake process. We have a contact us form on our website, and it is just a few questions that you will answer, and it will kind of let you know based on what you answer about your interests, your loved one's age, things like that, what your loved one would be eligible for. That is sent directly to our intake and eligibility family navigator. And she is wonderful. She's amazing, and she will call you back. We pride ourselves on being an agency that calls people back and is responsive, and she will talk to you in more detail about what your family is eligible for, what your loved one is eligible for within our scope of programs and services. And if we can't provide it, we're not selfish. We're gonna let you know what else is out there, right? We want your family to have what they need. So she is a wealth of knowledge, of information and resources. So she'll say, well, you know what? We don't have this service, but someone else does. So she'll make that referral or give you that information or provide you those other resources if it's something that's not within our scope of service. And so again, I'll share those links to our contact us and all of that. So it's wonderful. That's kind of our resources and referrals on that bottom of family support there. Our independent skills kind of section. So this kind of starts looking at our loved ones, our participants, as they kind of are getting close to that. We're going to leave school, right? We're going to leave that traditional K through 12 time of our life, and we're going to be looking at what it looks like if I'm not gonna maybe rely on my caregiver as much anymore. So we have an amazing transition services department that works with our participants on a lot of what we would call maybe soft skills. So we have a ton of opportunities for different groups, different programs. There's one-on-one programs, there's group programs that the families can sign their loved one up for, where they learn how to cook and do laundry and what's it like to be a roommate maybe, and things like that. We partner with UMSL. They've spent time at the UMSL campus. They will ride the Metrolink from one side of campus to the other and practice transportation skills. Again, all these kinds of soft skills that maybe you're not getting some of those during the school day, but now you're getting ready to leave school and maybe you need some of those skills, right? Because maybe mom or dad shouldn't be doing your laundry anymore, right? And so you need to know how to do that. We have cooking classes here. We have just lots of different fun things. We have, again, independent living, supported living. We have employment training, supported employment, pre-employment. We partner with vocational rehab, with job coaches, just so many things, so many things and where we can support your loved one as they move into those young adult years or beyond. I'm sure I'm leaving things out. We have so many different programs. So for day support, we have community engagement. We have several day programs. We have a hub in North County. We have a Maplewood hub, and we have one at the Del Mar Divine. And so this is for our participants that just want to spend their day with other friends, and they can go out and they do some volunteering and just kind of are busy during the day. And it's a wonderful opportunity to, again, work on some independence skills and also friendships and lots of soft skills, right? Maybe they'll go have lunch and they'll practice, ordering and just taking care of themselves and being safe when they're out, all that kind of stuff. We have a wonderful Aging with Empowerment program. So this is for our oldest population. And this allows them to kind of make the choice to maybe stay at the site or go out as well. Again, we're very person-centered choice. We have another program called Lift. This might be for some of our participants that are still working on maybe moving to some of those other programs where they would go out a little bit more. So we're working on some of those skills. We have a team that is led by our BCBA, and he's working on just different behaviors to be out in the community and work with others and communication skills and things like that. Again, we're all about teaching not only our participants that independence, but also our caregivers to allow their young one to take those risks and be independent. So it's wonderful, wonderful opportunities for everyone. Move my little thing over here so I can see the other side. We have a lot of different residential supports. We have several different homes located throughout the community where we can have residents live full time. And it is just a wonderful opportunity again for individuals to live outside of their home where they lived with their parents, whether their parents have passed away or whether they're just ready to live on their own, but with support, right? So there's staff there to help if they need just oversight or cooking or kind of cleaning or other kinds of support, because there is 24-hour staffing in those community-based homes. And then we have a ton of social opportunities. We have a very, very, very robust and large leisure department. So we have a ton of sports that go on. I think we added pickleball recently in the last few years. That's very trendy, right? Pickleball is very trendy. We have softball teams and bowling and again, I mentioned like we have cooking classes and we have a music therapist that comes by and we have music going on, and we even have a group that we partner with, I believe it's Maryville students, to do online video gaming because maybe somebody doesn't want to leave the house and they just want to online video game with other adults, because that's virtual friends are still friends, right? We know that. We have teams that are made up of individuals with disabilities and those that are not. And it's just an awesome partnership and just a wonderful way to just make lots of different kinds of friends and get to know lots of different groups of people. We have book clubs that kind of meet throughout the area. We have a walking club. We do dances. We have meetups at local restaurants and get to know people. We have an amazing, amazing large group of volunteers that are so dedicated and care so much about our agency and our families and our participants. Many of them have loved ones of their own that have IDD, and some do not. They're just kind-hearted people who want to be involved in something, and they work with us to do some wonderful things. I really feel that this is one of the best places to work. We just have such a wonderful, dedicated staff. Who again really is trying to help caregivers and our participants and loved ones lead their best life. Talk about that a lot, their best life. It's been such a joy to be able, again, I haven't even been here 2 years yet, but it's been such a joy to be able to kind of see all the wonderful things that we do here and to support families and their loved one. So
Definitely appreciate you, Sandy. A big thank you to you. A big thank you to everyone who has joined us today.